Hello, this is Dat Dirty Spoons from the IWC, and this is my pro wrestling recap for the week of January 9th, 2012. First off, on the January 9th edition of Raw, we had the reintroduction of the Funk-assaurus, Brodus Clay. Brodus Clay was returned to the WWE programming, and he looked a lot different than what was presented to us before. Before, he was just this monster heel who rolled over people. Now he's a Funk-assaurus, and I like it. At first I didn't, I'll be honest with you, I thought it was kind of goofy, but then after letting it sink in for a little while, it harkens me back to the days of the characters that WWE used to present. You know, like some other people that we're not going to think about right now. But they had some interesting characters. Unfortunately, those characters were generally banished to the mid-card forever and forced to get over with just whatever gimmick that WWE gave to them. I'm hoping that's not necessarily the case with Brodus Clay, but if this is his way to the top, then I'm all for it. I remember getting on the Ho train from The Godfather a long time ago, and I don't mind getting on a rocket ship to Planet Funk again. Another thing that happened on the January 9th edition of Raw was two members of the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2012 were also announced. One of those announcements was Edge, who, again, I really disagreed with this. I believe that Edge needs to be saved for a Canadian WrestleMania, or a WrestleMania on Canadian soil, or in Canada, or however you say it. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway. But apparently Vince is trying to cash in on Edge's popularity a little bit sooner than I thought. And so Edge will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I'm hoping that Christian will be the one to induct Edge, and from reports by Edge's camp, it seems that that is very likely. Another inductee, and I was a little bit surprised by this one, more so than the previous one, was the Four Horsemen will be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year in Miami. The incarnation of the Four Horsemen included Arn Anderson, Tully Blackguard, Barry Windham, and Ric Flair. Now, Ric Flair is currently under TNA contract, so this is going to be a lot more interesting, but for an entirely different reason. Next up, we had the TNA Impact for Thursday, and I gotta say, it was not the worst Impact I have seen, but for an episode that happened after their Genesis pay-per-view, which happened on Sunday, and during the Genesis pay-per-view, they actually had two matches that had no finish, and one match, the TNA Knockouts champ, that had a possible screwjob finish. So I was expecting a lot more than what I got from this episode. However, two things I was really excited about. It looks like Magnus and Samoa Joe will continue to be a tag team, which I'm very excited about. I thought that they were one of the best things that came out of Genesis, or even that tag team wildcard tournament in the first place. And even though they didn't win, they did put the boots to the champions on Thursday's edition, and so I'm really hoping that TNA keeps that team together. Another interesting thing that happened on this edition of TNA Impact, well, I guess Impact Wrestling, was that, again, Jeff Hardy did not win the TNA Heavyweight Championship. They had another Heavyweight Championship match on TV with no hype, but it's TNA, so what do you expect? And, again, Bobby Roode was able to not cheat to win, actually, Bully Ray came in and took the referee out, and then they ended the show, which was stupid, because why couldn't they just get another referee? Again, booking 101. I really think that the writers at TNA really need to get that squared off pretty quickly, because they should know better by now. I mean, I like to think they would know better, but they apparently do not. I mean, it's just things that happen that I'm just not clear on what's going on. So, I guess Mr. Hardy will be chasing Mr. Roode for a little bit longer. Although right now, the #1 contender for the title in Impact Wrestling is James Storm. Yes, they're doing Bobby Roode, James Storm 2. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I don't know. It is what it is. It's TNA. What do you expect? The only really interesting thing that happened on SmackDown was we're continuing to see a heel turn happen with DBD. Again, I was more interested with the heel turn that the Big Show was seeming to take, but it looks like they've switched gears and are going to make Daniel Bryan Danielson the heel, and Big Show is going to keep face. Big Show and AJ, she is a diva. Yeah, AJ the diva had a collision. Apparently, AJ is connected with Daniel Bryan Danielson. They had a collision during their world title match, and that match ended in a no contest. Again, I was more interested in the Big Show heel turn than the Daniel Bryan Daniel heel turn, but it looks like once again WWE is making a direct reaction to, I guess, diminishing SmackDown ratings. They're really pulling back on Daniel Bryan Danielson, and it looks like he's going to drop that title sooner rather than later. Again, I'm not sure that this is the right move, but it's the move they're making. They're ramping up for their big push to WrestleMania, and they need to get a lot of attention on their product, and they feel that they cannot get that attention with Daniel Bryan Danielson. I disagree with this. I think Daniel Bryan Danielson is an excellent talent, and if they would just actually get behind him instead of trying to cut his legs out every opportunity. But it's what WWE does. It's when they get a little bit nervous, they fall back into the same people that have gotten them where they are. And a lot of those people are hurt. Rey Mysterio's hurt, Randy Orton's hurt, and these people just can't jump up out of their injuries and save this company. They need to get behind some of these newer stars and stay behind them. That's why I like what's going on with Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett is clearly getting a push, and it's coming from somewhere else. Also, we've seen the slightly hilarious return of one chosen one, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre made his third straight appearance on SmackDown in a losing effort against again. Who was he facing? He was facing the $1 Million Man's Ted DiBiase. And also, not sure what they're doing with that either, but I hope this is just I hope they do something with him. I thought Drew McIntyre was an interesting character, but he obviously did something stupid and pissed off everybody. I don't know what. I can't think of a few things. If anybody else knows why Drew McIntyre is in the doghouse of WWE, please let me know. Also, something else happened interesting tonight. Apparently, at a house show, Air Boom dropped their tag team belts to Primo and Ipico. And that's interesting for two reasons. One, it happened on a non-televised event, so I guess they're trying to increase house show numbers by having the tag belts get dropped on it. I hope this is not their way of burying the WWE tag team titles, because I thought that was kind of interesting. Although I'm glad to see Primo and Ipico get some attention, because that was a very good tag team, and they've got Rosa with them, so maybe we'll be seeing that spicy little tomato a little bit more often. Oh, and I would like to make my way too early Royal Rumble prediction tonight. Tonight, I am predicting that Sheamus will come out of the shadows and win the Royal Rumble. I say this because they have a couple of heel champions right now. Well, mostly I think that Daniel Bryan Danielson is going to be a heel champion by the time WrestleMania rolls around, which means they're going to need a face to go against them. And I don't think it's going to be Big Show, because Big Show, Mark Henry, and Daniel Bryan Danielson will probably be having a three-way for the World Heavyweight Championship at the Royal Rumble. And I don't think that Big Show is going to be able to do a match and enter the Rumble. I don't think he's just too big for that. I don't think that they'll also put my man Dolph Ziggler in that spot either. I think that him wrestling for the title at Royal Rumble, I don't think he'll be in the actual Royal Rumble match. That being said, I don't think Jericho's going to win either, because I think it's going to be Jericho and CM Punk and Jericho at WrestleMania. For that to happen, Punk has to drop the title, and Jericho has to be the cause. So I think heel Dolph Ziggler wins that Royal Rumble. Either some combination of John Laurinaitis and the Y2J screwing CM Punk and them fighting all the way to WrestleMania. That means Dolph Ziggler will be going into WrestleMania as the WWE Champion. So he's not going to win the Rumble. That leaves Sheamus. So Sheamus will be able to face heel Dolph Ziggler or heel Daniel Bryan Danielson. And that's my way too early prediction for the Royal Rumble. This has been at Dirty Spoons from the IWC with my wrestling recap. Pro Wrestling Recap for January 9th, 2012. I plan on doing this every week and including my pay-per-view predictions for both TNA and WWE pay-per-views. Later.